Football evokes some of the greatest feelings ever known to mankind. It's a sport that can make the old cry and can make the young ones, well, tinker and also shed tears. It's a game of emotions. It's a game of excitement. The feeling when a goal is scored, the disappointment when your favorite player misses the spot from 12 yards. Ah, what a feeling. Football is a special game, loved by many across the world. Right here at Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show, we're concerned about, well, not just what happens on the pitch, but the beauty of the historicity that surrounds the beautiful game. And I am Anthony the Voice, your quiz master, ready to drive you through the action of yet another thrilling episode of the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show. Young minds from different football academies who love playing the game are now tested beyond what they do in terms of playing. We want to know how intelligent they are. How much can they remember heroes of past? How many tournaments can they remember? How many of the goal scorers can they get? All of these questions are what we put together to make up this exciting game show. Today, yet again, on the cards, Fesoda and Adhoc Football Academies will battle for yet another victory at the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show. So if you're ready, I am absolutely ready. 3 rounds, of course. The first, general Nigerian footballing questions. The second, we'll talk about picture identification. How can the young minds picture the faces of players who crawled so the younger ones could fly? And then the rapid fire question, where we have 10 questions to be answered in 60 seconds. Here, we're testing for speed and accuracy of these young minds. The Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show is here to push important ideas into the minds of young footballers across Lagos and Nigeria. So if you're ready, we are definitely ready. Welcome back. Still the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show. I'm Anthony the Voice, your quiz master, ready to bring the gladiators on stage. In the last couple of episodes, it's been exciting and really engaging as well. Some teams have come here and really shown class. For some others, a bit of struggle. Like I said, there is so much in store, and just maybe today we could be seeing 2 teams ready to deliver at the highest level. Bringing to the podium for the very first time this exciting episode, Fesoda Football Academy makes way to the podium. Thank you very much. Oh, that's a walk of a big boy now, huh? When you're well read, you bounce to the podium. Well, we'll see if he has what it takes to give his team a big victory here. All right, on the flip side, Adhoc Football Academy won their last game, back on the podium, ready for another victory. Adhoc, please make way to the podium. All right, thank you very much. Ready for battle. The boys on the podium representing their academies right on this episode. Adhoc Football Academy makes a return to the podium to once again continue what has been a very strong start. Can you tell us your name? Timile. You represented your side and you're back again. I mean, how do you feel? How did you engage with your team after that first battle?
They gave me encouragement for the next round.
Okay, they gave you encouragement for the next round. Exciting. So I mean, how prepared are you for this one?
80%.
80%. 80%. That's a lot. That's an A. And the coach just behind, raising his hand to his head, saying, "Hey, this boy don't give me up." Well, we love it because the expectations will be higher now. Hopefully, he can live up to the expectation. Timile representing Adhoc. And let's move to the other side of the divide. Joining us right here on the podium, representing Fesoda Football Academy. Please, can we meet you?
My name is Amadou Faiza. This is my first time presenting this show, so it's a great honor
To be here.
Yeah.
Your first time competing, you reckon. All right, Amadou, thank you for joining us. How ready are you for this one?
It's 1%.
Oh, Adhoc says 80%, and then Fesoda says 81, just to show that yes, I mean, no love lost here, but this is a competition and you're ready to go. I mean, did you read alone or did you study with your team?
I read alone, and at times I study with
The team, all right. Reads alone and sometimes studies with his team as well. Feels like the right blend of different worlds. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the battle is about to begin. We are going to be looking at very exciting things. One of them will be the African Cup of Nations 2000. Absolutely. And would also look out for Nigerian coaches in times past. It's important that the young ones can, well, identify, give us information as regards the men who have led Nigeria over the last couple of years. So this will take charge in terms of the representation in the rounds, the first round, the second round, and of course the third round, which will have to do with the rapid fire question, would also be covering the Nations Cup of 2000. So we're ready to go right here on the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show podium. Anthony, the voice, in the company of Fesoda and Adhoc. Welcome back. We're ready to battle. And we start off with Adhoc Football Academy. Well, Tibelaine, you know the rules. You've been here before. 5 questions in this first round. The focus, the African Cup of Nations 2000. You have between 1 to 20. Make a choice, and that question will be asked to you. You have 10 seconds to answer correctly. Are we ready to go? Now let the battle begin. Let's go. Question number 10. Question number 10 says, what was the result of the quarterfinal match against Senegal?
2-1.
Something is lacking. Something is lacking as well. Nigeria won, yes, but something is lacking.
2-0.
No. You already got the correct answer, but you're lacking something. Well, it was 2-1 after extra time. It's important that you add that. It's an important information when answering a question of that magnitude. And so, for a point, I mean, you're supposed to get 10 points. You get 8 points for this. 2-1 after extra time. All right, moving on to Fesoda. Amadou.
9.
Question number 9. Question number 9. Who did Nigeria face in the quarterfinals?
Senegal.
Senegal is correct. And that's a strong start as well for Fesoda. 10 points, 8 points, Adhoc, the first set of questions. And we're back to the question selection. Adhoc, let's go. Question number 15. Question number 15 says, what was the scoreline in the final match?
2-2.
2-2 is correct. 2-2 is correct. Although that game went into a penalty shootout as well, but in full time, with extra time, of course, 2-2 is correct. 10 points for Adhoc. Moving on to Fesoda. 12. Question number 12. Question number 12 says, what was the result of the semi-final match? What was the result of the semi-final match? What was the result of the semi-final match at the African Cup of Nations year 2000? 10 seconds is almost up, and
2-0.
yes, well, that is later than the time, just fraction later than the time. Your time was up at the time you provided that answer. 2-0 in favor of who? All right. I think at this point we'll settle for just 5 points. To be fair, it was just fractions into it. You only got the scoreline, Nigeria winning 2-0 in that game. All right. Moving on to ad hoc. Question number 1, right from the top. Who co-hosted the 2000 African Cup of Nations?
Ghana and Nigeria.
Ghana and Nigeria is correct. A strong 10 points as well. Thank you very much, ad hoc. Now the battle swinging over to my left-hand side. Fesoda, let's go.
About 13.
Question number 13. Question number 13. That question is, who were Nigeria's opponents in the final?
Cameroon.
Cameroon is correct as well. 10 solid points. Well, that was a keenly contested game, Nigeria-Cameroon, which went into penalties eventually, and Nigeria controversially lost that one. Now, moving on to the 4th set of questions. Ad hoc, are you ready?
Number 20.
Question number 20, right to the bottom. Who scored Nigeria's goals against Tunisia in the group stage of the 2000 African Cup of Nations?
JJ Okocha scored 2 and Victor Ikpeba scored 2.
There you go. Absolutely correct. Austin JJ Okocha and the Prince of Monaco, as often called Victor Ikpeba, scored as well in that game. 10 points for ad hoc. Ad hoc really pushing strong in this round. Fesoda, over to you.
8.
Question number 8. Question number 8. Which Nigerian player was the top scorer of the team in the tournament? Nigerian player who was the top scorer of the team at that tournament.
JJ Okocha.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
JJ Okocha is very wrong. Victor Ikpeba was the top scorer for the team at that tournament. 0 points for Fesoda. And moving on to the final set of questions in this round. Nigeria at the African Cup of Nations 2000. Ad hoc?
Number 19.
Question number 19. Well, he's found some luck with some of those questions below. Let's see if that can be repeated. Who scored Nigeria's goal in the semi-final against South Africa?
Tijani Babangida.
Tijani Babangida is also correct. 10 points for ad hoc. Oh dear. What a pressure to lead into this one, ad hoc. Well, let's see if Fesoda can at least end this first round with a strong fight. Fesoda?
Number 17.
Question number 17. Question number 17 says, what was the outcome of the penalty shootout in the final?
40.
In favor of?
Ikpeba. Lost it. Penalty shootout.
Well, absolutely correct as well. 4-3 in favor of Cameroon. Ikpeba controversially lost the penalty, which, well, many deemed to have crossed the line, but with the lack of the video assistant referee, that wasn't giving. So 10 points. It's a strong finish by Fesoda, and that brings us to the end of the first round in this episode of the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show. Fesoda up against ad hoc. Ad hoc are looking very determined, having won their first game. Can they maintain the momentum going into the second round, where we'll have them identify the faces of the men who toyed in that African Cup of Nations tournament in 2000. We'll be right back. Still, the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show. Welcome back. Still the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show. I'm Anthony, the voice, your quiz master, and joined by two gladiators representing their football academies. Fesoda off my left and the exciting ad hoc who have really been very positive so far today. Now, this round, picture identification. 5 questions to be answered by the 2 gladiators. The big question is, can they recognize the picture on the screen? These are the players who played for Nigeria at the African Cup of Nations in 2000. It's important that the younger ones can reflect strongly on our history at the national level. And this time, we'll go all the way to Fesoda, who will start this round. Fesoda, you have 10 seconds. Once the screen is provided to you, identify the player on your screen in 10 seconds. 10 points for correct answers and no points for wrong answers. And so the battle begins. 10 seconds. Fesoda, can you identify the player on your screen?
Tijani Babangida.
Tijani Babangida is wrong. And that's a really, really challenging start for Fesoda. No points in that. And this time we'll move over to Adhoc. Adhoc, 10 seconds. Remember, you can use your time properly to ensure you're making the right chord. No idea? No idea. So a bit of breather for Fesoda, you reckon? We seem to be back to where we left off now, huh? No points in this first set. Now let's move to the second set of identification. And let's see if something will give. Fesoda, the ball is now in your court. Identify the player on your screen with precision.
Rashidi Yakini.
Rashidi Yakini is wrong as well. And real challenge for Fesoda. Moving on, let's see if Adhoc can benefit from that. This is the real test.
Kanu.
Huh?
Kanu.
Kanu? Well, Kanu is very, very wrong as well. Kanu is very wrong. No points in the first 2 sets. This is a real conundrum now, isn't it? Now, let's give it yet another try. Fesoda, you have a 3rd chance to go at this. Identify the player on your screen with precision. 10 seconds, which is already running. Hey,
Julius.
Julius what?
I don't know his other name. He's a midfielder.
Well, that's very wrong as well. Very wrong as well. 0 points for that. Let's see if Adhoc can benefit. The starting Milan midfielder has his first name as well. Special player. Well, really sad. No points. The man Tijani Babangida. Of course, for those who follow the Serie A, Tijani Reinders, when asked why he had that first name, the Dutchman, he did say that his parents loved Tijani, who being very loved in that part of the world, having played for some of the leading teams in Holland as well. So now, into the 4th set of questions. You have to start digging deep to identify now better. Can you have a go? The player on your screen, Fesoda, 10 seconds, starts now. Who will get the very first point on the board in this round? Oh, come on now. You can do better. Let's go, let's go. A few more seconds. Time up. Time up. Time up. And time up again. Well, let's see if Adhoc can benefit beyond the actions done. The facial representation is key. Ikesho is correct. And for the very first time, a point on the board in this round. Oh my world. That was really keenly contested now, wasn't it? 10 points for Adhoc. And it may be a round with so many wrong answers, but you never know what this 10 points could do. Moving on. Special player on your screen, loved by many back home. His theatrics after scoring was always very key. Rashidi Yakini is wrong. That is wrong as well. Let's see if Adhoc can wrap this up. 10 seconds to identify his theatrics. Having scored was one thing that the world always will remember him for. Agahoa is correct. Julius Agahoa just late on the stroke of 10 seconds. Adhoc fighting back to record yet another point on the log to take it up to 20 points in this round, and no point for Fesoda. What a challenge this has been. It's important that young minds are able to not just know the history, but also recognize the faces of the men who crawled so that they could run or even fly. The faces are important that generations to generations can share in the nostalgia these players provided. Thank you very much, both parties. Now we move over to where the battle is ferocious. Still, the Cohesion Challenge football game show is getting even feistier. What will the third round hold for us? Focus still, Nigeria at the African Cup of Nations in 2000. 60 seconds, 10 questions. How fast, how correct can they be? We'll be right back. It's still the Cohesion Challenge football game show, and so far so good. It's been exciting to say the least. We saw a very first round where both players really went for each other's jugglers. In the second, well, seemed to be Adhoc who showed some class, despite also failing quite a number. Fesoda, well, really chasing from behind, but this is an opportunity to restitute for perhaps past errors. Nigeria have had great managers over the years, handle its senior national team through highs and lows. Some of them have been favorites of the people, some maybe not so, given they couldn't achieve the desired target. But that's by the way. Right here on the Cohesion Challenge football game show, the third round of today's action, we'll take a look at Nigerian coaches from 2000 to 2020, 2 decades. We'll expect the boys to identify for us or remember the managers who handled different tournaments leading the Nigerian senior national team. Fesoda still right here off my left and Adhoc off my right. This is called the rapid fire questions. 10 questions expected to be answered in 60 seconds. Time is of the essence. Gladiators, if you don't know the answer, say the word skip to help you answer more questions and perhaps get some more correctly. And so we're ready for sale. The rapid fire questions about to begin. Fesoda, you go first. Who was the Super Eagles coach in the year 2000?
John Bonfere.
Correct. What coach led Nigeria to the 2002 FIFA World Cup?
Sir?
Which coach led Nigeria to the 2002 FIFA World Cup?
Shaibu Amadu.
Well, that is wrong. Who replaced John Bonfere as coach in 2001?
Shaibu Amadu.
Shaibu is correct. Who coached the Eagles during the 2004 Nations Cup? You can say skip. Which foreign coach managed the Eagles in 2007?
Betty Ford.
Betty Ford is correct. Who was the Nigerian coach during the 2008 African Cup of Nations?
Stephen Keshi.
That is wrong. Who led the Eagles to the 2010 FIFA World Cup?
Skip.
Skip. Who replaced Lars Lagerbäck after the 2010 World Cup?
Skip.
Skip. Which coach led Nigeria to win the 2013 African Nations Cup?
Skip.
Skip. Who was the Super Eagles coach during the 2014 FIFA World Cup? Time up. Time up. Time up. Wow. That was something now, huh? So, 2 correct answers in a run of 10, or potentially at the 10th question. 3 actually correct. Yeah, 3 answered correctly in a run of 10 questions. Well, we'll see if Adhoc will perform better. It's being a really tough one for Fesoda. But we'll see if Adhoc can capitalize on that. And over to Adhoc Football Academy, represented by Timmy Lane. Well, he's been fighting a good fight of fate. Well, let's see if he can end this one on a high. You know the rules? Are you ready to go? Who replaced Keshi in 2015? Skip. Who coached the Eagles after Sunday Olise resigned in 2016? Skip. Who was appointed as the Eagles coach in 2016?
Sunday Yusuf.
Wrong. Which coach led Nigeria to the 2018 FIFA World Cup?
Skip.
Skip. Who was the longest serving coach of the Eagles during this period?
Stephen Keshi.
Stephen Keshi is wrong. Who was the first Nigerian player to win? Who was the first Nigerian player to win the African Cup of Nations as player and as a coach?
Skip.
Skip. Which coach was known for his focus on developing local talents?
Skip.
Skip. Who was the Super Eagles coach during the 2019 African Cup of Nations?
Sunday Olise.
Sunday Olise is wrong as well. And time up. Wow. 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 That's what you're calling football against the run of play. And when you expected that Adhoc was going to at least capitalize, well, apparently it wasn't meant to be. Now, round 3 was very challenging for both sides, but Fesoda managed to get away with 30 points in that. No points, surprisingly, to Adhoc, who were leading prior to that round. But let's look at the real outcome. Well, we had the very first round involving both sides, ended in favor of Adhoc, who answered, well, 4 questions correctly, got 8 points in the final question, which took that point tally up to 48 points in that. So 48 points for Adhoc in the first round, and for Fesoda, 35 points. So it was Adhoc who took the very first round. Going into the second round, Fesoda couldn't maintain the fight. They had 0 points in that round, and Adhoc capitalized, winning that round with 20 points. 2 late correct answers gave him all the points in that battle. And when we thought that we would see, well, in terms of the difficulty level, these boys really go at each other. It did look like Fesoda took the advantage. 30 points, 3 questions he answered correctly from a run of 9. And, well, for Adhoc, they got no points correctly. Now, that takes us to a surprising total, despite not winning any points in the final round. Adhoc Football Academy ended this battle with 68 points, 3 points shy away from Fesoda, who will be losing this one very narrowly with 65 points. So 35 points, 30 points as well, combining to give us 65 points, 48 points in the first round, and 20 points in the second round was enough to give Ad Hoc Football Academy yet another victory in this episode of the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show. Well, let's talk about, well, the team who are not losers, but only second best. Amadou, how do you feel genuinely? You lost by only 3 points.
The 3 points is a glorious team to him. So, like I said earlier, this is my first time being in this show. So, I have to challenge him again. But not today.
Yeah. Okay.
Another day.
Not today, but another day.
Because for me, it's just like, because this is my first time doing it. So, I'm not going to give up. Not going to give up just easily.
He's not going to give up?
The 3 points. So, next show, I'll probably win it. For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. The voice of Amadou representing Fesoda says in the next round, if he gets an opportunity to battle Ad Hoc, and that could be in the quarterfinals, you never know. He says he will be ready to make up for that 3 points. It's interesting because in a football league setting, you win a football match and you get what? 3 points. And that 3 points seem to be what you have gotten today to separate yourself from Fesoda. I mean, I particularly want to take you on the third round. What happened? I mean, you had no points and you were, I mean, you kept on saying the word next, and to be honest, I was surprised because I expected much more from you. The question were what? The question were difficult. I mean, was it a case of you not preparing as much in that regard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sometimes it's interesting when you're able to acknowledge that you can do better and then work on it. What would you say to your team? I mean, this was a really close shave, a very close shave for you. It's your second victory representing Ad Hoc. Is there somewhere in your mind where you feel like Ad Hoc can go all the way?
Yes, sir. Because I have to read harder so I can move on.
You have to work harder? What do you have to tell your coach? He's been very animated behind the scene. This was a really close one. What would you tell him?
It is life.
It is life. It is life? Okay, it is life. Well, you win some, sometimes you lose some, but eventually he was able to win this. And I would like to think that you're ready for the next one.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's see if Timilei can build upon this. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you, Ad Hoc. Congratulations, Ad Hoc, as well. And thank you, Fesoda. Hopefully, you get another chance to restitute for this shortcoming. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you very much, Lagos, Nigeria, and to the entire world and everyone who continues to watch our content on YouTube. Please do well to subscribe, and we're very much open to partner with you. We'd love you to be a part of the Cohesion Challenge Football Game Show movement, and you sure won't be disappointed that you are. I'm Anthony the Voice. Thank you for doing this with us. Until next time, bye. I'm Anthony the Voice, and before I say bye, let's have both sides have the handshake of sportsmanship. Timilei, always very strong-faced, always battle-ready, and Amadou, who seemed to be the more expressive one. Well, fair play in the end, and hopefully we'll see if the both of you representing your teams can battle again sometime in the competition. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and have a nice time. See you next time.